Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Mythic bringing you guys another collaboration. We got Juan Gotti, a Washington Commanders fan. He has a YouTube channel as well. Go check him out. I will link it in the description. We are going to be talking about the Arizona Cardinals versus the Washington Commanders Week 4 matchup. Now, the Washington Commanders, as the time we are recording this, played yesterday. How are you feeling? Because, Jaden Daniels looked pretty dang good, if I had to say so myself. Pretty dang good performance, 38 points. Walk me through it.
Man, I am feeling absolutely ecstatic, man. I'm telling you, here in the DMV area, we have not had this kind of feeling in years. I know a lot of people want to make the comparison to RG3 because that's the hanging fruit comparison. But what a lot of people don't realize, in 2012, we started that season bad. We started off 3-6. And then we, magically went along. It feels different because we're winning in the early stages of the season. Jaden Daniels absolutely masterclass. And I would be lying to you if I told you I thought yesterday was going to happen. I did not. And he absolutely put on a clinic. Only 2 incompletions? Are you kidding me? Only 2 incompletions? This guy absolutely went crazy. And it feels amazing because we have not had no type of success in recent history on a consistent basis. Every so often we sneak into the playoffs, but this just feels real. This feels sustainable, and this just feels like a new day in Washington, and I'm absolutely ecstatic. And I have to say thank you for having me on your show as we prepare for this matchup this Sunday.
Love having you on, man. Always the go-to Commanders guy right here. So if you guys love NFL, Washington Commanders, he is definitely the guy to check out. Great content over there. Let's go ahead and talk about something that all Cardinals fans, all Commanders fans, this is going to be a narrative that is strung all week long. Kliff Kingsbury. How are you feeling about him? I mean, he looks pretty decent. He looked good for us for the first couple of years. Are we seeing the kind of same resemblance here? Is this just going to be something that is very short-term and temporary, or do you think this is sustainable? Because Jaden Daniels feels like they kind of opened the playbook like we talked about. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, man. So I'll be honest with you. The start of the season, I was highly critical of Kliff Kingsbury because I saw a lot of quick screens, underneath passes, not really letting this quarterback throw the ball. He kind of was handicapping him and, just trying to keep it simple for him. Hence to why the Bengals cornerback felt the need to say this is a very simple college scheme. He wasn't allowing him to do much, and I was highly critical of him in the beginning. But after seeing why he was doing so, he was just making it simple for Jaden Daniels. He was not making him do too much. He was allowing him to get comfortable, get his feet under him, and then he opened up the playbook after Jaden Daniels took a big hit on Sunday versus the Giants. Yesterday was absolutely a masterclass, allowing Jaden Daniels to, throw the ball down the field while still implementing his run game, while still implementing his screens, his quick passes, his RPOs, still implementing it all. He was in his bag yesterday. And I will say this about Kliff Kingsbury. The biggest difference is he's an offensive coordinator here. He's not the head coach. He doesn't have to worry about everything. All he has to worry about is just the offense and the quarterback play. So that's why I feel like it's different here in Washington. And I do feel like it's sustainable because he's an offensive genius. I mean, you've seen what he did. Anywhere he goes, he has success on the offensive end. Whether it's for 1, whether it's for 2, whether it's for 3 years, he has some type of success where he goes. Obviously, there last year with Lincoln Riley and USC, obviously offensively they were good. Defensively it was trash. Offensively they were good. Caleb Williams was good. Obviously he has history with I want to say, was it Johnny Manziel or Patrick Mahomes?
It was Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray.
Yep, Kyler Murray. He's had success. Anywhere he's really went. And obviously it didn't end well with you guys in Arizona, but like we talked before, often he had Kyler Murray playing at a high level, MVP level at one point. He instant, constant playoff bursts. It didn't end how the way you wanted, but offensively, you knew he had talent and you knew that he can call up a game. So I do feel like it's sustainable. And honestly, if he plays at this level or coach at this level, we have him for 2 years, but he may be in a running for a head coaching job at some point if he continues to coach at this level, because he has this offense playing out of its mind, from the offensive passing game to the run game to the pass protection up front. We're hitting on all cylinders offensively, and you have to look at the quarterback, but not just the quarterback, Kliff Kingsbury, as he's doing a hell of a job.
He is, because, I mean, I've seen the success that he can bring to an offense. I mean, it's kind of like a shock in the face. It's not a very conventional offensive scheme. It's a lot of college formations. It's a lot of college just kind of gadgety plays. It's just stuff you don't expect or see. So I feel like I don't know. I don't want to be a like Debbie Downer, but like I don't know. Maybe this year. I think this year you guys will be successful. I think you guys are the second best team in your division, right behind Philadelphia. I think it's Philadelphia, then you guys, then Dallas, then the Giants.
Yeah.
I think that is where it ranks. But you did hit on something that all Cardinals fans have thought at one point. If Kliff Kingsbury steps down or takes that demotion, which he never was going to, like, let's be honest, Kliff Kingsbury would have never taken a demotion. But if he did, he'd probably be a lot better focused on the offense while somebody else runs the show. Now you guys have Dan Quinn, and Kliff is kind of just, he's not the head coach. He's not running everything. It's offensive scheme, offensive game plan. What are we going to do? I'm scheming for this game. I'm not controlling the team, trying to win everybody over.
Right.
He's a player's coach. Like, that's what it is. You kind of, not necessarily a walkover, but I mean, just like he's a player's coach. You know what I mean? Former player. He's good for you guys, I think. He is good for a rookie quarterback. Now, in year 2, is it going to be the same kind of success? I'm not sure. I can't speak on that because I've never seen him in just the OC role. As a head coach, I've seen it continually in year 1 be good, year 2 be good, and then it was just a massive crash from there. Is this going to be sustainable? I don't know. But you guys seem like you guys are building in the right direction. You guys had a ton of money, still do, I believe, and surrounded that defense with talent. You guys got Eckler, good pickup. You guys have signed a good amount of people on defense. You guys have Bobby Wagner now, good signing. Like, you guys have done everything to make this team competitive, which is good for your rookie quarterback. You want to spend the money when you can while your quarterback is under a rookie contract. And if Jaden Daniels keeps performing like this, this little 4 or 5 years that you guys have of Daniels under a rookie contract, you guys might be able to capitalize in these next little 3-year window. Because if they see Jaden Daniels is balling, look at what happened to C.J. Stroud and the Texans. They have Danielle Hunter on the defense now. They just traded for Stephon Diggs. They're pushing all the chips in. If Washington can get to a point where they make the playoffs this year as a wild card, they might do the same thing. Push all those chips in and go for it. And they might have the potential because Dallas, like I said earlier in the season, they don't have a run game. Everyone was gassing Dallas, and I'm like, I just don't see it. I don't see it defensively. I know they have talent. I don't see it offensively. They're going to end up paying a lot of guys. I don't know if they got a deal done with Micah Parsons yet, but CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott are paid. Yeah. They are paid. Yeah. Dak Prescott, I don't agree with paying him necessarily. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's very good. Good is the word for Dak. I think we can all agree. He's good. He's not great. And they just paid him, what, $60 million? Sheesh. That's rough. That's got to be good for you, though. And then CeeDee Lamb getting paid, I agree with. I think that is something you had to lock up. Otherwise, somebody else would have paid him gladly. Or Oakland would have paid Dak, too. But I don't know. Dallas is in such a weird spot financially. So you guys are in a spot with a rookie quarterback where you're not paying the big bucks. You're not paying Jalen Hurts money. You're not paying Dak Prescott money. You're not even paying Daniel Jones money. Daniel Jones doesn't even deserve that money.
I was about to say, we're not even paying Daniel Jones's money. But
you don't want to do that.
I don't. I really don't. As crazy as this sound, actually doesn't sound crazy. I want to pay the Dak Prescott money to my quarterback because that means he's that dude.
Yeah. You just don't want to do it now.
This is the opportunity that every team dreams of. Having a electrifying young quarterback on a rookie deal that isn't gonna cost you too much. That is gonna allow you to make that Stephon Diggs trade. That is gonna allow you to make that Danielle Hunter signing. That is what you want to do. That is what you want to capitalize on at this current moment, and that's where we're headed. Is it going to happen this year? Probably not. But headed into the next season and the season after that, we're going to have opportunities to add to this team because we're not tied up like Dallas. Dallas is going to be tied up into 3 players because they're soon to pay Micah Parsons, and they have nowhere else to go with their team because their team is solely tied up behind Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons. Nowhere else. You already hit on it. They have no run game. Mike Zimmer was supposed to be the savior. Dan Quinn was the problem all along. But you look at this defense against a team like the Saints, absolutely destroyed them. And then on Sunday, the Ravens got back in their groove, was able to gash them on the defensive end running game. Lamar Jackson running game, passing game, Nelson Aguilar, and a lot of those guys looking really good. So I feel you. I do think Washington is headed in the right direction. I do think we're the second best team in this division. I honestly feel like we can compete with the Eagles. They're just talently better than us, but coach-wise, team-wise, momentum-wise, I think we could have a chance at winning this NFC East because I feel like there's no other team that has the higher ceiling than us at this current moment. And the only thing that is saving Philly from not being like Dallas, not being like New York, is just because they're finding ways to win. And that's the name of the game. And they just have overall the best talent in this division.
They do. And the thing is with Washington, I've always been high on you guys. I was high on you guys last year.
Yeah.
I say you guys are second best in the division. I don't even think that's a knock, just because Philadelphia, like you said, which might end up being a benefit, is it seems
Yeah.
like their team is just falling apart. Like
Yeah.
Nick Sirianni, it doesn't seem like he has control over
Mhm.
that team. And it seems like they're kind of collapsing by the week. And when they lose a close game, it's kind of like a slap in the face. I think this was a huge win against New Orleans this past week. Like that was an absolutely massive win for them. I
Mhm.
think if they lose that game, we're talking about the Eagles in a way different light. There's a lot
Yeah.
of problems there that still exist, but they're kind of getting undermined by winning and success. That's kind of what happens in the league when you win. The problems, they're not as big. They're kind of
Yeah.
diminished. So Washington has a chance to capitalize.
Mhm.
But let's go ahead and talk about my Cardinals now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go ahead and flip the script. The Arizona Cardinals, I personally believe, and you have said this in the video we recorded for your channel, should be undefeated. How do you feel about week 1 against Buffalo? Did you see the pass interference call that wasn't called? And then did you also, I know you saw the pick 6 that was blown off. I hate when they blow plays off. It's 2 minutes and 1 second. It's a reviewable play if they don't blow it dead. They blew it dead. It's over. So, oh man, just little plays after little plays, and their offense just disappears in that second half. What are your overall takeaways from the Cardinals and the fact that they should be undefeated? I want you to touch on that too.
Yeah, man. I'll be honest with you, dude. I didn't see the pass interference call from week 1. However, I did see Marvin Harrison wide open in the end zone for potentially the winning play. And that was gut wrenching because you guys put on an absolute show against them offensively. And obviously the Bills did the same thing, but you guys should have won that game. If you say the pass interference call, and then obviously the Marvin Harrison Jr. wide open touchdown that should have been a play made. I seen that. And then obviously week 2, you come out and destroy the Rams. Crazy. And I'm like, man, look at Marvin Hurst Jr. They had all this to say about him, and we talked about it. They blew his Kyler Murray's comments out of context, and you see him put on a clinic. Then you come back to week 3, good Detroit Lions team. Not even mad that you guys lost that game. Obviously, you've seen the pick 6 that should have been called. You guys had opportunities to win that game, but it's a good Detroit Lions defense and team. Yeah, I do strongly believe you guys should be undefeated right now. I do feel like you guys are the best team in that division at the current moment. Obviously, no one's talking about Seattle because they're 3-0, but their 3-0 has been kind of under the radar in my opinion. We talked about the teams that they kind of beat. They just beat up on a Skylar Thompson led Dolphins. So I'm not gonna say that 3-0 is bad, but it's kind of unimpressive. And if you have me to pick with the banged up 49ers roster, obviously they're like the Eagles. They're obviously more talented than you guys, but the current state of their team so banged up, you don't know what they're going to look like. You don't know if they're either going to get it together, compete for the NFC Championship, or they're going to fall off and end up with a top 5 pick. I honestly feel like that's how they stay around, because they're either good one year, super good, or they fall off and get a top 5 pick, and that's just their rotation. I don't know what they expect from 49ers at this current moment due to their health. Talent-wise, best team in the division. But right now, we're talking about momentum, and we're talking about a team that has the best upside. Jonathan Gannon team, defensively, is still around, still really good. And you guys just have to clean up some things on offense and get consistent with the offense. I think you guys are going to be a tough team to play against, and I think you guys are going to be a tough out this season. And definitely, as we talked about with the NFC being as weak as it is, could be a playoff team. Not only just a playoff team, but a potential NFC West crown coming back to AZ.
It's crazy to think that, though. Like, this team that defensively we're not investing a ton of money into. And the way they play, it's kind of crazy because, like, at moments it's like, wow, we're just getting gashed. This defense is under-talented. And then it's like, boom, there's a Dennis Gardick interception. A lot of people probably don't recognize the name Dennis Gardick. And then it's just like, boom, a Dante Still sack. They play with something that you can't teach, and that's heart. They got heart. They try. They give their 100% effort, even if they're getting gashed on the run, give up 200 yards against Detroit. In that second half, we shut them out. They gave the offense plenty of chances, which is why I can't blame the refs fully for that week 3 loss against Detroit, because we had chances. If we didn't have chances and the game came down to like one possession, the Lions, we were just playing back and forth football, and it came down to a one possession game like that, which it did, but we had the opportunities. We shut Detroit out. The defense stepped up. We just got led down by Kyler Murray in this offense. I don't think that's going to be a problem going forward. But the NFC West, like you said, I mean, Seattle, I'm not really impressed by their wins. They have a 3-point win against the Patriots, I believe, and then a 6-point win against the Broncos. And they just beat up against a backup quarterback in Miami who just doesn't look like a quarterback at all. So what was it, 24-3? Like Seattle, I feel
Yeah.
like no one's giving them the credit they deserve because they haven't played anybody that matters. I
Right.
think the Cardinals I can't even say that. That just sounds stupid. But like the Cardinals are a more impressive 1-2 than the Seattle Seahawks are a more impressive 3-0, if that makes any sense. I don't know how to rationalize that, but it makes sense in my head. And I'm going to rock with it. But I don't know. I think the NFC West is up for grabs, and the Cardinals and the Commanders are in a position to make the playoffs this year. Who would have thought? We've been here talking for 2 years now. Who would have thought that we're in a position to flip this thing around? With the teams that we got, a rookie quarterback, a defense that's not invested into. Both defenses are struggling, which we'll touch on in just a second because I want to talk about this guy right here, and then you'll let me know how you're feeling about him. But like, it's crazy to be in these positions, and I would love to be in your spot too, where you're paying your quarterback rookie money.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
The Arizona Cardinals drafted this guy with the 4th overall pick. You know, you might have heard of him. You know, he's kind of decent at football, if I had to say so myself. He was 190-something yards, 3 touchdowns on the year. Maserati Marv. What are your overall impressions on him, and how do you think he's going to do against your Washington Commanders? Because you said your defense is not so hot.
Yeah, man. Marvin Harrison is exactly as advertised coming out of Ohio State. Absolute stud. And I'm scared for my defense. You seen what Jamar Chase did to us yesterday. You seen what Malik Neighbors did to us in week 2. You seen what Mike Evans did to us in week 1. I'm absolutely scared for my defense. I already expect my defense to give it up through the air, deep shots. I think Marvin Harrison is going to have his best games yet. He might win week 4 offensive rookie of the year. Offensive rookie of the week. That's how scared I am for my defense. And I'm a realist. I know you see this W, you see this burgundy jersey, and it says Washington on it, but I'm a realist. I know when my team is struggling, and defensively we are struggling bad. And I think Marvin Harrison is gonna have a field day. James Conner might have his best rushing day because we cannot stop the run whatsoever. Zach Moss went on us yesterday. Chase Brown, Devin Singletary, Bucky Irvin. Running the ball is easy. Throwing the ball is easy. Like, defense has just been picked apart. We can't get no pressure on no quarterback. When we do finally make a play, we don't know how to tackle. Deron Payne had a play yesterday where he blew the play up, but just couldn't tackle him. We can't tackle. The few times we get pressure, we can't tackle. You know why that scares me? Kyler Murray. I know you don't want to hear the midget jokes, but that's literally plays perfect to the midget jokes because you feel like you got him, then you look up and he's scrambling up the middle for 20 yards because you lost him. That you guys have an opportunity to put up some major points on us and kind of bounce back from going to face a Detroit Lions team and defense that is really good, to facing a Washington team that is easily giving it up and not really good at all. You guys may have a field day, and that's just honestly true. And Maserati Mob, as you mentioned, anytime I say that name, I just think of Gus Johnson.
Maserati Mob.
I just think of Gus Johnson. He's going to have a day. And I'm hoping that's not the case. The fan in me want that not to happen, but the realist in me is just not allowing myself to believe that. I think James Conner, the rest of your offense is going to have a day. And it's going to come down to our offense if we're going to be able to punch back.
So Kyler Murray, you just touched on him. I know a lot of people are very teeter-tottery with Kyler Murray and where he stands as a quarterback, if he's good or not, if he's a long-term franchise quarterback, he's too small. What is your stance on Kyler Murray, especially this season? Have you seen growth? Have you seen this is a guy that you should build a football team around? Where do you have him ranked in the league? Like, what are your just overall thoughts on Kyler?
Yeah, it was very interesting. I was very intrigued to see the Kyler Murray that we got this year. I know he played a little bit last year, but it was very interesting to see what he looks like coming back for a full season. And obviously, really the first season under a new coaching staff for the first time, like fully, as being back healthy. So I was very interested to see what kind of Kyler we're going to get. You now have a weapon. Not saying DeAndre Hopkins and Christian Kirk and Chase Edmonds. Like, I'm not saying none of those guys weren't good or contributors, but you now have a guy that you drafted in the first round, highly touted, and obviously you have a running back in James Conner back in the backfield. You guys were ultra competitive last year with who was the backup for you guys last year? Just
Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs, right? There we go. Josh Dobbs. You guys were highly competitive with him. So you can only imagine what Kyler Murray was going to bring to this team back being healthy. And he's doing exactly what I thought. Did he have the best performance last week? No, he didn't. But that doesn't take the fact that he's playing. He is the franchise quarterback for the Cardinals. He is the face of the Cardinals franchise. He is you guys' quarterback. You guys can win with Kyler Murray. He is an MVP kind of quarterback when playing at his best. He's a guy that can lead a team to playoff victories. I'm not going to say Super Bowl appearance yet, because anytime the Cardinals get into the playoffs, you guys just lose your mind. I don't know why. I don't know if that was just a Kliff Kingsbury thing, but you guys just somehow forget how you got there when you get there. So I'm not going to say he's a Super Bowl winning kind of quarterback just yet, but he is a quarterback that you could build around. He is your franchise. There's no reason why you guys should think about moving on from him. I don't even know if that was even a thought. Maybe it was when he was on the shelf. He's your guy. Love Kyler Murray. Love that he beats the short allegations, because a lot of people want to make excuses for Bryce Young. And I'm one that feels bad for Bryce Young, not to bring him up. I feel bad for him because I do feel like the Carolina Panthers didn't set him up for success. But I do feel like a part of it is just he's probably not that good at this level. And people want to go to the hype being the biggest reason. Well, Kyler Murray is the biggest influence as to why that's not always the case. It's just all about what's inside of you. And Kyler Murray has that dog. He has the heart of a lion. He may be 5'8", 5'9", but his heart is 6'7", and he's a guy that is going to be the face of the Cardinals for the years to come. And he's just a dog, man. I love Kyler Murray, except for Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm thinking with Jaden Daniels. I thought Jaden Daniels was going to struggle early on.
Yeah.
And a lot due to the fact that the playbook will be a lot more condensed. It's going to be a college-y offensive system. And I was just like, Jaden Daniels is probably going to struggle and then progress through the year. He's going to find himself, and he's going to flourish towards the back end, because I'm not saying Jaden Daniels is going to struggle and you guys are still going to be the second team. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. Jaden Daniels, I think, has a chance to be the best quarterback in this draft class. I think it is very teeter-tottery. I have him or Drake May personally as my number one. I think Caleb Williams was just the consensus pick. I was never like insanely high on Caleb Williams. I mean, I remember hopping on a podcast with another Arizona YouTuber saying that Shedeur Sanders might be better than Caleb Williams in my personal rankings. I was like, if Shedeur would come out, I'd probably rather have him than Caleb Williams. That's not discrediting him at all, because I think he's going to be fine. He just plays very unconventional. Like, he has to get out of the pocket, escape. He's not fantastic within the pocket. And the Bears also don't have an offensive line that is keeping him upright. So it's hard to get a gauge on Caleb Williams, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not the biggest Justin Fields believer. I really am not. I don't think he's a fantastic quarterback, but you're looking at what he's doing in Pittsburgh with the line and some talent around him. He's 3-0. Yeah. And that might not be all because of Justin Fields, but like Justin Fields being 3-0 and then watching Caleb Williams start 1-2. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. So it's a very relative gauge on the NFL. And I think people are very quick to give up on quarterbacks as well. Mm-hmm. It's not the NFL of years in the past where you could sit somebody behind the veteran. I like what New England's doing right now. They have Jacoby Brissett playing right now. And whenever the time is right, they'll bring Drake May in. It might not be this season. He might learn, and that might build a fire in somebody to actually progress in the offseason and win that spot in year 2. But I like that. I genuinely think that's fine. Mm-hmm. But unless you're just like, hey, we don't have a veteran that can come in here and make us competitive like a Jacoby Brissett, it's probably not in the best interest. We'll just play the rookie. We're in a decent situation, but Bryce Young is just getting killed right now, like absolutely killed. Kyler Murray, I feel like there's a big difference in both of these quarterbacks. One has a cannon arm. One's arm isn't fantastic. I still believe in Bryce Young. I think if he went to like Miami, he would flourish. Mm-hmm. It's all situation. But Kyler Murray, I feel like people just don't watch him play football. It's like they see the loss and they're just like, oh, he sucks. He's terrible. And then, oh, look at how he handles himself in the press conference. He's moody, blah, 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 blah. They're kind of stuck on narratives of the past. And I'm glad you gave him his respect. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that, because I have fought for Kyler for so long, and I'm not going to fight for someone who I think is terrible. Like Josh Dobbs, I thought was booty, buns, just terrible. Wasn't the long-term plan whatsoever. Backup quarterback potentially, but we traded him. I was like, that's fine. I really don't care. No ties. But Kyler just continually disrespected. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because of a lot of reasons. I think social media plays a big factor into it. The Call of Duty thing that just blows my mind. That is so blown out of proportion. Right. I think the out of context post game interview, we just recently went over one where we talked about how they blew his comments about it's not his job out of proportion. It's not what he meant. It's just what social media perceives him to be. If Kyler Murray played in the 90s, no one would be thinking about Kyler Murray in this way. It's social media, clickbaity journalists and reporters that wants to get clicks. I don't think no one really has a legit reason to hate on Kyler Murray as a player. He has all the tangibles. The only thing that you're going to talk about is his height, and that goes back to social media being a big influence. I have never seen no one legitly hate Kyler Murray and have a legit reason as to why they dislike Kyler Murray. You talked about his maturity level, how he's grown as a player and on and off the field and in the locker room as a leader. You hear that in his post-game interviews. You hear that in his comments and the way he talks in his vlogs. I just watched his vlog the other day. He seems very different, but also the same, because Kyler Murray's never rubbed me the wrong way. So I really can't honestly tell you why they don't like Kyler Murray. I just think it's a narrative, and I just think it's the bandwagon of social media, because no one legitly has a reason to dislike Kyler Murray. I don't.
Right. It makes no sense. I don't understand that. But we're going to go ahead and talk on the Commanders real quick. We're going to go back to the matchup. What are your biggest scares for your team? Looking at the Cardinals on paper, and I will give you my biggest scares and where I think the Commanders could eat us alive. What are your 3 biggest scares looking at this matchup for your team? And then give me 3 things where you're like, this is where, or give me 2 and 2 where you think we can exploit, and 2 of the things that actually scare you.
I'm going to be real with you, bro. Like, completely honest. It's all my defense. Nothing from my offense worries me. Quarterback has been great. Offensive line has been great. Play calling has been great. Nothing with my offense. It's all on my defense. I feel as though the biggest thing that scares me about this game is we're not going to be able to stop Marvin Harrison. We're not going to be able to stop Kyler Murray. We're not going to be able to stop the running. It'd be different if we had some type of good about our defense. Oh, they're able to run the ball against this Washington defense, but they can't pass because the secondary is a lockdown. Or they can pass against this Washington defense, but they cannot run on this front how it should be with Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne been up there, but they've been a no-show. You can do whatever you want to this defense. You want it on the ground? Go ahead, have it. You want it through the air? Go ahead, have it. The only time that this defense potentially shows up at times is in the red zone where we hold a 10-3. But I'm tired of that. I want to be able to get the ball without having to give up any kind of points. But that's not been this case. So that's the first thing that scares me is the defense as a whole. Then secondly, what scares me is the defense, specifically the secondary. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if you were expecting me to say defense or coaching this coach. It's literally all on my defense. Everything else about my team at this current state, I am fine with. Special teams has been good. We've been getting great returns from Austin Eckler. We have been able to, be good on special teams, getting down there in the landing zone and really limiting returns. We've been able to get down on well, really, I forgot to say this. We haven't punted in 2 weeks. So I can't even say we've been good on special teams because our punter has been on vacation. He's getting PTO in season. We haven't punted in 2 weeks. So I can't say our gunners on defense or on special teams has been good. Our field goal kicking was a big issue coming to this season. We finally got a kicker. He just went 7 for 7 last week. So, and then he had a big kick yesterday. So literally, it's just my defense, and you can pick where you want to go. You want secondary as the issue? You want cornerback specifically as an issue? Because we have no corners. No Egmanogany is out there. Mike Sanders, the rookie slot guy, he's been getting torched. Emmanuel Forbes is injured. He wasn't good. Benjamin St. Juste is our best corner, and guess what? Oh, he's been getting torched too when he goes up against Mike Evans, goes against Jamar Chase, and he's going up against Marvin Harrison this weekend. It is going to be scary for this defense. 2 things that I think that we can exploit. We talked about it before. Your right tackle's out of the game, though. So maybe defensively, our edge rusher, Cleveland Ferrell, Dante Fowler, maybe we can find a way to get some type of pressure on Kyler Murray, but I highly doubt it. So 2 things that I think we can exploit is reverse. You said your defense has been struggling. I just told you why I feel like your offense is going to be good. I think that's the same way for us. We're going to be able to throw the ball and move the ball down the field methodically against you guys if we want to have success. You talked about your run defense and how it hasn't been the best. Brian Robinson is coming off of a game prior to yesterday's game where he had 123 rushing yards. We have to find a way to get back into the run game and find a healthy balance. So I think both of our reasons to be successful is offensively, and our defense has just been struggling. And I honestly expect your defense to play better than mine because I have no faith in it at all.
I mean, my faith is probably a little bit higher than yours, but it's not, I wouldn't say on a Jurassic level, because I just watched Detroit run for 200 yards. And I mean, in the second half, we played fantastic football, but I'm going to give you my 2 scares. Mm-hmm. You brought it up. That right tackle, we are on the 3rd string right now. Kelvin Beachum might not play again, has a hamstring injury that is lingering. Jackson Barton is our 3rd string right tackle, went down. Where are we at right now?
Hmm.
4th string. You never want to be on 4th string. If you get the 4th string in a position that's not receiver or corner, not in a good spot. That's just what it is. So I'm a little terrified because if you have to scheme around somebody you can't really trust, it's kind of a little concerning. And that could ruin a whole game plan and the entirety of everything. So I'm just hoping that we're offensively going to be structurally fine and can actually play within the system, because Kyler Murray within the pocket has looked fantastic this year. He's playing within structure. He's playing within the system. Just stuff you haven't seen from Kyler Murray. It's been a lot of like evasive. He's still doing that, but you're seeing a lot of him playing within the pocket, within structure, under center. It's so nice. It's so refreshing. It's semi old school football. It's kind of nice. So I'm going to say the one thing that I am very fond of is Marvin Harrison Jr. Like I said, I think he is an X factor in this game. You think the same thing. I'm glad we're thinking on the same page, because that defense in Washington has not been fantastic. We've seen receivers have field days. So if you have a fantasy receiver, if you got Marvin Harrison this week, you're probably in for a good day, because they are giving up big numbers to their wide receiver one. So if I see Marvin Harrison with 85 plus yards and a touchdown, not going to be surprised. The second thing I'm going to say that's going to be a positive is probably going to be Kyler Murray's play. I think he's going to bounce back. I think he's going to actually have a fantastic game. It's not going to be shot after shot after shot. We're going to see him kind of dissect the defense. I think it's going to be a great day for Kyler Murray, and I think we're going to dominate time of possession this game. That's what I'm thinking prediction-wise. But then the second thing that scares me, it's right tackle number one, defense entirely. I think Brian Robinson could have a big day. And if Jaden Daniels is out here able to have a dominant run game, which he didn't have last game at all, and we saw what he did. 38 points, took a lick, and bombed it down. Was it Terry McLaurin who caught that last pass?
Yep, touchdown.
Yeah, you got Terry McLaurin for a touchdown after getting popped. Like, just, you have like Zach Ertz and I don't know who it was, Noah Brown, like they were like motioning out. They didn't know what the play was. It was just a broken play, and it's just a perfect streak by Terry McLaurin. Taking a lick.
It was Zach Ertz and Luke McCaffrey. We had 10 people on the field that play. Honestly, we were not ready, and we still found a way to seal the game. Another thing that you mentioned, Jaden Daniels, not only can he do it with his arm, but his legs are dangerous. So if he finds a way, if we can kill you on the ground with Brian Robinson and Jaden Daniels' legs, we could be in for success Sunday.
See, that's what we have to stop. If Washington takes control of that time of possession, we're in trouble. So I think Arizona's going to dominate it, and that's the kind of route they're going to have to take, as time of possession is always huge in games. But Washington has a dual threat in Jaden Daniels. I think his running ability is kind of going under the radar. There was a game he had 16 freaking carries in a game. He's out here running the ball like a running back. 16 carries. Like, he looks smooth with it.
Yeah.
Like, really smooth with it. So I'm a little terrified defensively as well. If you had to make a prediction and you had to give your X Factor player of the game for both teams, I want the score prediction, who you got winning, and then give me the X Factor for both teams. Who's going to have to play the best to get this team the win? Or you can say the defense overall, too. We'll put that as a bunch.
I'm going to be real with you, Mythic. I'm not going to mention my defense. I'm not going to say they have to play well for us to win, because they're not going to play well. I have no confidence in them to play well. The only way we win is if we outscore you. So the X Factor for you guys, I'm going to say Marvin Harrison. He has to have a field day, because it's no reason to not have a field day against this secondary. When I tell you, you're going to see, you've seen it, but you're going to get to see it first up close and personal on Sunday. When I tell you our defense is trash, it's trash. I don't know if it's scheme. I don't know if it's a mixture of scheme with Joe Witt Jr. or just a lack of talent that we don't have on the defense. We have been trashed. The only time, again, that we don't really give it up that much is in the red zone. But get down the field, it's going to be an issue. So Marvin Harrison is going to have to be an X factor for you guys against us. He's going to have a big day. And you guys are going to have to thrive by giving him the ball. I would say your other receivers, but I mean, honestly, it has to be Marvin Harrison. I mean, I'm not going to say that, your other receivers don't scare us. Who else is on that receiving core?
Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch. We have Zay Jones coming back in a few weeks. You're not going to see him in this game.
Yeah. Did Xavier Weaver make the 53?
He did. He did. He just hasn't made his debut yet. He's been battling injury, but I'm so happy to see him on the team, man. Such a dope story.
Yeah, definitely. But Marvin Harrison is gonna have to be you guys' X factor, and not to discredit Greg Dortch or your other receivers, but I mean, not gonna say that they're trash, but they don't really threaten you like a Marvin Harrison Jr. threatens you. So he's gonna have to be your X factor. And then for us, simply, it's gonna have to be Jaden Daniels again. I mean, I'm being real. I didn't say Kyler Murray because we know who Kyler Murray is. Kyler Murray's a dog. Jaden Daniels, although he's coming off a really good appearance and really good historic day, only missing 2 passes, he's still going to have to continue to be the X factor for this team, because without him, we're nothing. And we need him to show up each and every week, because this defense can't show up. At least your defense could potentially get a stop. We cannot get a stop at all. So our X factor has to be our quarterback, because if he doesn't show up and if he has one bad drive, it's going to be scary for us, because I have no faith in his defense to stop you guys.
I mean, that's fair. That is 100% fair. I'm going to say our X factor is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm torn between him or James Conner, because I think both of them could wreck your game entirely. Definitely. Like, James Conner could be the workhorse. I'm going to change it up. We're going to rock James Conner. I'm feeling James Conner. Like, in heart of hearts, I'm rocking time of possession. I still think Marvin Harrison's going to have a fantastic day in feast. But I think James Conner is going to be that bully, going to be the guy who actually helps us convert on third down. We were 1 for 9, 0 for 2 on fourth down. We're going to be on third down situations a lot. We got to convert them. And I think James Conner is going to be a huge reason. He's going to put up an 80, 70-yard game and help us on the ground, just will this team down the field. And then I'm going to say for you guys, it's Jaden Daniels. It really does. It seems like this team just falls on his shoulders. And for someone so young, he's doing a heck of a job through 3 weeks. Like, I will give him so much credit, because that Giants game was just abysmal in red zone. Like, just abysmal. Not his game, but just like scoring productivity, 7 for 7 on field goals. The Giants, I don't know what they were doing. They were going for 2. Like, just such a weird game.
Graham Gano got hurt, so they had to. If Graham Gano doesn't get hurt, we lose that game, honestly. So.
I wonder why they didn't just – can their punter not kick field goals or PATs? Like, you'd think there would be some duality there, right?
I believe they gave him 1 shot and he missed. So they was like, okay, we gave him an opportunity. We're going to go for it here on out.
Sheesh, that's just tough, because you got Daniel Jones at quarterback. So I would have no faith there. But Jaden Daniels, heck of a player. A player. So I'm going to say he's the X factor. And for my score prediction, 28-20 Cardinals, man. 28-20. It's going to be a close game, but like I said, I think we're going to milk you guys time of possession, try to minimize your chances, just not let you guys pound in the ball. And I think there's going to be a couple of red zone stops that we're going to get that make you settle for field goals, which is how we get to 20. 2 field goals for you guys, 2 touchdowns. I think Brian Robinson's going to get in. Jaden Daniels is going to pass for 1, 2 field goals, but the Cardinals are going to come out on top, man.
That is a great prediction. I definitely could see that. Hopefully that's not the case, but I definitely could see that. The only way we beat you guys if we outscore you. Honestly speaking, just how we did Cincinnati, we should have lost that game. If their defense is able to get 1 stop on us, we lose that game. Because anytime you score, I'm not gonna say we should have lost, but anytime you score 30+ points, you should win games. They didn't, because we outscored them, and that's the recipe for success until our defense eventually catch up, or at least give us some type of help. So that's why I'm going to go with, again, I think we have another performance. We're already in Arizona, so it ain't like we got jet lag, ain't like we got, anything prior to the game holding us up. We're already there in Arizona right now. So I'm going to say Washington wins this game 31-28. I think we get a walk-off field goal from Austin Cyber. I think you guys go down and you guys score, and you guys are winning by 3. And then we eventually come back. And we, I'm going to say, I don't know if I'm feeling we're trailing by 3 or we're trailing by 3, or if I should say we're tied and then we get the victory. So that's what I'm going to go. I'm going to go 28-28. You guys just went down and scored. Then we come back. You leave Jaden Daniels a little bit of time left. I'll say we about a minute and about 30 seconds left with the time up in his back pocket. Orchestrates a really good drive. Gets up, squared away for a 30-yard field goal. Austin Cyber knocks it through the uprights. 31-28. Both defenses had a tough time stopping you guys. We didn't stop you guys. It's just you guys gave us the ball last. I see that's how that's playing out. 31-28 Washington.
Man, I'm hoping I'm not hopping on this Sunday, and that's what happens, because you'll be hearing it on the breakdown. If this happens exactly, we're putting this clip in. This clip is getting inserted in the video, and I'm going to be like, this dude, he's got some majestic wizardry going on, because I mean that'd be a crazy prediction. And if I hit with the Brian Robinson Daniels touchdown with 2 field goals, That'd be a crazy prediction as well. I think the Cardinals
Yeah.
are going to end up milking you guys. We're going to get the ball back. It's going to be an 8-point game, and you guys need a stop, and it's just going to come down to crucial pickups on third down. That's what I'm
Yes,
going to
sir.
rock with. Do you feel like this is a must-win for your team? Is this a must-win game? Do you have this? I have a sense of urgency for my Cardinals, where this is a game that I think we need to pull off. If we fall to 1-3, I think we're in danger. But if we can get to 2-2, fantastic spot. I think this is a must-win game. I think in terms of worst defenses that we've played, it's you guys and the Rams, and we have to capitalize now. We lost 2 games against 2 of the best teams in the league. We cannot lose this one, at least in my heart of hearts.
Yeah, so honestly, with the win on Monday, no, this isn't a must-win game for me. I want to win. I hope we win. And I'm going to be rooting like heck for us to win. But since we're not 1-2 right now, instead 2-1, we can afford to lose a game to a good Cardinals team. And we have a Cleveland Browns team who's struggling coming into the building next. So we could bounce back pretty easily. I'm not going to say it's going to happen if we lose, but it could bounce back pretty easily. So, no, I want to win. I hope we win. I'm rooting for us to win. I predict us to win, but it's not a must-win because we're 2-2, even if we lose. So we're still 500.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in a different spot. We're flip-flop record.
Yeah.
Cardinals, I need you to pull off this stuff. This is a game we should win on paper. I think statistically, we were probably going to be the favorite. I think you can agree on that too. But I think this is going to be a close game. I think we'll be like +3 or -3. I don't think this is a game where it's going to be just like an absolute field day for either other team. I think it's going to be very evenly matched.
Yeah.
I need this win. Otherwise, the hope for the season is just going to trickle down. I can't have that. I want to be optimistic. I want playoffs. I think both of our teams are going to be competitive, though. This is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
I think we can agree.
I definitely believe this is going to be a good game. Yes, sir.
I cannot wait for Sunday, man. Appreciate you hopping on. If you guys want to go check out Juan Gotti, man, go do that on YouTube. Where else can they find you?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me on Mythic AZ. My name is Juan Gotti, Talking Sports, representing the Washington Commanders here from Maryland, DMV area. You guys can follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to me at Juan Gotti Talking Sports, covering the Washington Commanders and NFL. You can follow me on Instagram at Juan Gotti Talking Sports and on Twitter at Juan Gotti WTF. That is all of my social medias, and I look forward to seeing some of you guys come over and check me out. And again, Mythic AZ, thank you so much for having me on. You're a great YouTuber, great guy. You know what I'm saying? And I wish you the best moving forward with your channel and success. Almost at 7K. I wish you the best with your Cardinals, except for Sunday.
Man.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. He's on the road to 8K. I'm on the road to 7K, man. So consider hitting that subscribe button. I post Arizona NFL related content. He posts Washington NFL content. Go check us both out. Subscribe to both of us, man. And also leave your predictions down in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys think we're pretty spot on, pretty accurate with this. If not, drop yours down below. But that is all we got for today's collab, man. Appreciate you hopping on. It's been your boy, Mythic and Juan Gotti. Peace out.
Peace.